Throughout my lifetime, I believe the lack of connection or lack of understanding why we should connect is the source of a lot of my pain, trauma, misunderstanding. And it kind of shaped my mind. But when I started traveling through basketball, I had one view of how I thought people were looking at me. And then when I started actually having these experiences and started realizing it, my whole life and our separation and the way things have been put to me is framing my perspective in a way that's not healthy. And really, I need to connect with others more.
My name is Cass Sands. I'm a career social worker. The vast majority of the work that I've done was for an organization called the Tulsa Boys Home. It's residential youth care, level D+ contracts. So you're talking about one of the highest levels of care in terms of kids that come from significant childhood trauma, abuse, and neglect.
My name is Marshall Moses. I'm known in various communities as Soul Body Meta, and I'm the founder of Soul Body Ciphers. What I'm building, I feel like, is a safe place and a foundational place where people of all kinds can come meet up and get actual change. Also, the stereotype discrepancies I talked about growing up, I want my place to be a meeting place because of music and art, where the white, the black, the old, the young, we all come together, have a good time, but also you can connect to something that fits your life. If you never know what you're gonna do, it's fun. We're gonna rap, we're gonna have a good time. But also, if your spirit needs some healing, come here and rock with us, bro. You got a family that ain't genetic or bloodline.
When we talk about community and access to community resources and safe spaces and being able to offer our young people environments where, yeah, not only are they gonna be supervised and safe, but they also go be around people who are gonna inspire them and push them and invest in them and pour into them and equip them so they have something to contribute to this society. That's the direction that we gotta move in. And so if we can start building that type of ecosystem, we can do real work, real rehabilitation. I'm calling to see if I can have a deputy sent to my location to retrieve a firearm that has been taken off of a minor.
Okay, like you have the firearm at the location you're at?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, what's the address?
How you doing? Can you assist us?
Yeah, just make sure you don't grab the gun and we're all good.
Yes, sir. I won't touch it.
Where is it?
Cass, can you?
Yeah. It's in the trunk. Okay. I'm not trying to get in y'all's trunk and search your business. Okay. I just want to grab it myself. Yep. I got you. How did you guys come into contact with it?
She was afraid, so she called me to come and remove it from the home. So.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. All right, well, I'll go ahead and get a call in and we'll get an officer out that way, okay?
Thank you very much.
And what's crazy on that is the mom really could have hit the police up or maybe tried to do something to herself, but her first instinct was to hit you up. Why do you think that is? And any of the other calls that somebody may get, even if it's not a gun, why do you think that's the families and kids and community's first response?
I think there is a culture of mistrust, and there's some legitimate concerns that I think certain communities have when it comes to their children or our young people with law enforcement. Yes, of course, there's some great cops out there who are very professional and who do a phenomenal job. But the reality is, just like any field of work, I'm a social worker. I know good social workers, I know some terrible ones.
Hamper wrapped up in a hoodie. Oh wow. And so
Yep.
she called me while he wasn't there to get it out of the house. Oh shit. And there is ammunition.
You are putting yourself, your home, your child in a vulnerable position. And so I think a lot of times, people want to be able to reach out to individuals who they feel like they can trust.
Welcome to chat with you guys. I'm going to secure this.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for sending this.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy that I can be of assistance to families when they do have situations like this. And it ain't just me. I mean, I know several other individuals in our community that try to help operate as a buffer there.
My mom choked me out many times because I told my mom, I'm not finna be in the room with you while you're having sex. She said she regret having me. She said she's gonna put me for adoption. She already tried to kill me once. I was young. And mom tried to stab me. I saw my mom stabbing herself. And my mom, like, whenever I got took away from my mom and I got older, I moved in with these people I see as family. They gave me a job. They put food on the table for me. They put a roof over my head. Also, I kind of messed it up for myself because I was being disrespectful to the husband. I didn't really know him like that, but I realized at the same time, he was trying to help me. He's trying to help me be a better man, be more respectful, and watch how I talk to people, be more polite, be more presentable, have better hygiene.
And why were you things that you pushed back against? You think? In what ways did you push back or disrespect?
I wasn't like, I just kept thinking about my trauma, and I just kept talking about my trauma a lot, and I just kept letting it get to me, and I kept using my trauma as an excuse.
What do you feel like you needed, man, that just wasn't there?
I feel like I needed the actual support and, like, you know, schooling and all that. Like, I feel like in school as a youngin', when I first came, you know, started going to school here, you know, I kind of wasn't doing well in school and kind of flunking out because I didn't really understand it and wasn't really, you know, like, I don't know, I had problems, you know, being able to pay attention, and nobody would actually, you know, sit down and help me with that. They would just, you know, my grades wouldn't be going well, and they'd come to the end of the year, and then they just pass me through without even, you know, saying, you know, I'd have bad grades and they just still pass me through, and I'll just be sitting there wondering what's going on the next year, not really understanding, you know, the schoolwork that's gonna come up. And I feel like the biggest thing is just the teachers, you know, a better support system.
As these young people share their stories, a bigger picture begins to unfold. A picture that shows their challenges, their high level of resilience, and the need for consistent support. So now our focus shifts to the next generation, to young members who are stepping forward, engaging their community, and most importantly, it shifts us to asking important questions. What can be done to create change, and how can we better support those coming up behind them?
Is there any chance we could interview you for a documentary? You just have to answer these 3 questions, and we bought donuts out here.
The gang violence and the youth are running wild out here, man. What do you think are some real solutions to us at least reducing some of that?
For real, I think we got to change our mindset for the most part. The problem is when a lot of us grow up not necessarily having everything, we don't value things that we should value the same way, even ourselves. So it's easy to get caught up in nonsense. You know what I'm saying? If there's really no path that you actually taking. The older kind of need to be more involved with the younger generation. Because I know quite a few people that have come out, like a lot of talented kids that I've seen playing basketball and all kind of stuff out here, they wind up getting caught up in gangs. It's a lot of people that I know that should be at bare minimum overseas playing that are like now in jail for 30 years because they not taking the path, choosing the path and sticking with it. Some of the other side of that is like you gotta have people in your ear kind of pushing you to go the right way.
I've gone through my own struggles, you know, I just work, hoop. Now I used to stay in trouble too. So basically I just, you know, describe him from the people he's hanging around with. He's hanging around the wrong people. I just told him, man, just start hooping with me, you know, start working, just get a job, stack your money. That's basically the best thing to do out here, because shoot, I have friends too. You know, that's how I ended up catching my case. It was just hanging with the wrong people. And then once I got locked up, they wasn't there for me. You know, no one called to check up on me when I got out, none of that.
It's our responsibility first to get the young folks on the right path. Because at the end of the day, I didn't have that right person to get me on the wrong path, till I found him. At the end of the day, I didn't have that right person to get me to the right place till I found him. Parents wasn't helping me. Nobody was helping me. I was just doing it by myself. I was trying to get it out the mud myself. And at the end of the day, I found the right person to help me, and it was my brother.
I think that one of the biggest struggles that come with people right now is they're just not reaching out. The middle class is upped. You know, back in the day, the money I'm making would have got me into a middle class home. Now it's not. Now I'm considered middle lower class. And then you sit there and try to think if I'm middle lower class and I know I make more money than 50% of the people here in Oklahoma, what are they suffering through?
Yeah.
They can't even think about the school systems. They can't think about, school system might be the only thing that the school system's a daycare to them right now.
What me and my brother here are trying to build right now, and we're doing this with a collective of other individuals. Some of the people that I talk to about it, they think that this is a one-off, that we're like cooking up something from scratch. But the reality is, the statistical data is out there. When you look at communities like Birmingham, when you look at what's going on in Chicago, New York, Baltimore is a perfect example. It was dealing with a lot of criminal activity. They have a new mayor. When you look at the work that he's been able to do in a very short amount of time, since 2024, in terms of their teen violence, homicides decreased by 60 to 66%. They're doing this through community programs, not by dumping millions more dollars into heavier policing. They're taking proactive approaches to investing in their community, investing into community action programs that directly impact the people. And the important thing about that is that it gives you autonomy. It gives you some authority and some skin in the game to be able to have some say over your own life. Nobody's coming to save us. I want us to look at it through the lens that like, hey, we can do this. We don't need somebody else to come do this for us. There's nothing more American than that.
My name is Two Piece. I am a producer, also engineer from Tulsa. I've worked with people like T-Pain, Lil Flip. I've done music for TV shows. I've done a lot, man. Well, I think showing people another life, another way to life, and making them realize that working hard for that life is better than what they're in now. If you get at least one to change their mind, you know what I'm saying? That one person could get one or two people to change their mind, and then those two people get other two to change their mind. Like what we do affects the future, affects the youth.
Like, it's easy to throw money at these things. What I'm asking for your time. I'm asking for your attention. I'm asking you to go throw a ball with a kid. I'm asking you to, some of these young brothers, some of them are fathers. They just need to spend time around a father and just see what a father does with his child.
I think it'll be similar to what Cass said, but I gotta emphasize on it because people speak about getting involved but never really take that first step or action. So it's people right in your neighborhood, in your community. You go outside. I just did it before we came here. Went outside, there was some young kids playing ball out there. Say, man, what you know about that? Who your favorite player? Go out there, I'm hooping with them. That's a small thing, but I think you never know what was going on in that kid's life. That may make a difference. All of us to do that. Anybody that's gonna watch this and see that to feel like I can make a difference. You know how when it's time to vote, they constantly tell you, your vote is gonna make a difference. You're gonna think that your one vote doesn't matter, but it makes a difference. They push that. That's how I feel about making a difference in the community, bro. That's all we gotta do. Your vote count, your effort counts. But a lot of times we think it don't. What am I gonna do? Problems is bigger than me. That's somebody else's problem to deal with. And everybody's thinking that way, and because of that, nobody's helping. So that's what I think. That's what I kind of want to happen after this goes off. For everybody to see this, take the action. That's what I care about. That's it.